Okay.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So, Intergalactic, huh? For you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, Naughty Dog attempted to create a new game, and it was a new IP, and like most of it was just like a woman randomly shaving her head, sort of in solidarity to the 4B movement, I guess, whatever it was, the Korean movement, where feminists, shave their heads to put off women. To their credit, good on them, I guess. Like, at least to a degree. I mean, it's woke as fuck. But at least they tried to do something new, right? They didn't, like, look, they at worst, at least aren't digging up, the graves of great past games, cutting the faces off of them, and parading around them like big gay, woke, horrifying Ed Geins, and then like utterly destroying the IP and the continuity and sanctity of the world, the IP and the culture around it. Like, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. It's still not great. It's still pretty bad. So, a lot of the issue is, well, look, we've got a bunch of issues, right? We've got a bunch of examples of it turning dog shit. We've got Fagua, we've got Concord, we've got Bud Light, we've got Rings of Power, we have She-Hulk and the fucking twerking with Megan Thee Stallion, because apparently, being a dumb slut is somehow powerful for women to be. We have Dragon Age The Veilguard with its fucking weird trans queer ideology with the fucking demon thing, which is, a bit on the nose. We have Target selling gender mutilated children's swimsuits and then subsequently eating shit in the market. We have Disney taking massive losses, and we have the arrogant Ziegler doing her level fucking best to tank Snow White while attempting to, do the aforementioned skin suit, cut its face off, and wear Snow White's face. There are many examples, right? There's something here. There's something that's not sneaking past anymore, right? The lecture in the art is being ignored, and people are beginning to despise both the lecturer and the politics and the narcissism behind the lecture, right? And there's also like obvious social engineering, right? Which, quite frankly, already needs to be subconscious in order for it to be effective. It's not subconscious. It's openly getting called out online in the comments sections to the point where they need to disable the comments on their videos. In addition to all that, you've got the bought and paid for queer ideological leftist biased reviewers in the gaming industry, giving games favourable and gentle reviews just because of, political bias, and like even they are like holding far less weight. Like, the differences between those weird corrupt game journalists and the audience scores on sites like, Metacritic, like sometimes they're as much as 50% or more, and that's not in the shadows. That's also being highlighted publicly in comment sections of art. Like, that's why these things are tanking, right? The credibility of the journalists and the critics, like, nobody trusts them anymore. Like, they're no longer able to trick people into the initial sales. Like, even Dragon Age Veilguard, which had a pretty big IP, didn't make back what it spent. Like, it was like a massive commercial failure, or at least a moderate commercial failure. So given all this, and look, credit where it's due, it is an original IP, Intergalactic. Like, aside from the immediate, you know, assault of wokeness, with a weird masculine woman shaving her head deliberately, we should probably point out she doesn't have a good reason to shave her head, like alopecia or cancer or anything. Like, that probably could be understood, but it appears to be like some sort of, you know, straight up queer, edgy, Marxist, feminist attack on gender roles or some bullshit 4B movement thing. And that's just so tiring, so tedious. It's just childish at this point. And, like, not to mention, like, it's a unasked for lecture, and it's just, like, arrogant and, like, narcissistic, and it's just unlikable, right? It only gets worse when you view the thoughts of these, like, queer Marxists on, like, people, like, other people's children and their sexuality and stuff. Like, they're literally trying to gender confuse kids, and they view pedophilia as, like, more of a taste preference than a horrible crime, which, you know, should obviously be stigmatized. They try to reduce the stigma around issues like basically sexual assault of kids and that sort of thing. So, right off the bat, it's just like a freakish pedo ideology, just, like, slapping you in the face. I have no idea why they thought that was good marketing. It wasn't. Like, it appears they're going for, like, an any publicity is good publicity sort of deal. And in so doing, they're trying to attempt to be some sort of, like, queer pedo, feminist Marxist WWE heel role. Like, the queer pedo Marxist version of that. And that's just... And that's even more visible in, like, the next trailer. With our, like, weird gender-confused, odd character, like, arrogantly drinking a milkshake while rudely pulling rank on someone talking to her. Like, the idea there, I guess, is to give the illusion of authority and competence and strength, but it just comes off as, like, sort of bratty and arrogant. And it's just tedious. Like, these people, like, screech about inclusion and try to force feed us all this fucking nonsense with, like, equal representation and all that sort of shit. Like, no one just points out to them, like, hey, look, 74% of gamers, something like that, are male. And, like, not all women gamers are, like, this queer, shaved head freak feminist attacking gender roles. Like, if I had to guess, the bald weirdo here represents, what, less than 5% of all the gamers? Like, of the 26% that are female, I can't imagine it's much that are, like, this specific breed of feminist. And, like, in so doing that, they're putting off, like, half of the 74% of the male player base. And that's only assuming half of them are conservative. And quite frankly, that is conservative. It's probably quite skewed towards the moderately conservative, given, you know, men going their own way and all that sort of thing.
Wow.
Like, there's no free market incentive to ruin art like this for, like, a weird, you know, pedo ideology. But, like, there sure as shit is like an incentive in government subsidy and big corporation incentive to do this. With, like, Sweet Baby Inc. and that consulting to ensure, like, these subsidies, which are, like, obviously not free market incentives, are, like, are gained at the cost to the art and at the cost to the majority of consumers who would buy the art. So it's like some weird attempt to control market ideologically. And it's failed so many times already. Like, I don't know why they're continuing to do it. Like, and that's in the face of trying to rig the deck towards this. Like, even despite these incentives, which let's face it, these incentives are propping up the destruction of culture and cultural identity and art. Like, these, and they always fail. It just always transforms the art into this weird shallow thing, this weird deformed fucking thing, and everyone thinks it's sort of fucking gross, and no one buys it, and then it eats shit. And look, I'm not saying this with, like, you know, total glee at the failure of it because of all the, you know, the queer ideology and shit. Like, there was work put into this. It's just such a fucking shame. Like, if we look past all the obvious fucking bad woke shit in the trailer, which is deliberately put there to piss us off, they have to know at this point their narcissism can't be that bad. If we look past all of that shit, and it is shit, it ruins it outright. It's pedo adjacency and it's normalization of pedophilia and it's clumsy social engineering. If you look past all that shit, we actually have some cool stuff there. You've got like a cool 80s indie musical style. We have like a nearly Stranger Things musical tone there. We have like a Nicholas Winding Refn purple visual style of like things like Drive and Only God Forgives. And we've got like underneath that, we've got like a sci-fi game in probably like an Uncharted like engine and game loop. And it's all an original IP inspired by classics like, you know, Akira and Cowboy Bebop. But like all those bright spots, all like the parts of it that look good only make the parts that are shit look so much worse. Like, the parts that are shit are unacceptably shit. Like, ultimately, people just, like, view it as, you know, pedo-adjacent ideology robbing them of something which they could have had, which would have been good. Had the pedo-adjacency shit ideology been, you know, not present. And look, you can make an argument for looking past some of that shit in art. You know, dividing the art and the artist in some cases, not all cases. But, like, a lot of people, it doesn't work that way. Like, the allegations against, like, Kevin Spacey ruined, like, Seven and LA Confidential for me. Like, they were two of my favourite movies at one point, and they were just, like, utterly ruined by the allegations, whether true or not. I suppose then you've got, you know, other cases like the allegations against, like, Roman Polanski. I mean, that just meant I didn't need to respect Rosemary's Baby as, like, a great horror movie anymore, and I was kind of fine with that. But, like, as it stands, I feel like it's just up to the free market. It's just going to need to punish the arrogance of this shit until, you know, they check themselves. Because they're, like, obviously narcissistic here. And the narcissism's, like, being completely unchecked to the point of, you know, several commercial failures, right? Just absolute financial disasters just because of woke nonsense. Like, just deliberately pissing off your market. Like, just deliberately pissing them off, getting them angry, making them not want to buy your stuff. Like, it's a fucking stupid marketing strategy. I don't know why anyone ever pushed it. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how many more they've got in them. I don't see the failures stopping. Yeah. Hint of potential. Unfortunately, that potential is buried in, like, a Jeff Goldblum-sized pile of Triceratops shit. But hey, at least Onimusha looked really good. At least some good games are still out there.
What have we got? Anything? Fucking anyone got anything? Right there! What the hell?